Hi, everyone. Mark and Oelze here from PLEDGEtalk.
And we want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Indeed, to each and every one of you. So every year around this time, the Christmas season, I always like to reread the story with kind of a fresh set of glasses, you know what I'm saying? And see what else jumps out at me. And it's amazing how every year something else does. And this year's no different. We were in church 2 or 3 weeks ago, the first Sunday of December, and our pastor was speaking on the Christmas story. And something just leapt out at me that stunned me. So we know the story. We jump right in. Joseph and Mary are heading into Bethlehem. She's on the donkey and she's saying, Joseph, it's time. And he goes, what? He goes, it's time. It's happening. You and I know what that's been like 3 times, right? It's time. There's a franticness. And we've got to be ready and all set. And they weren't. They didn't even have a place. So they get into Bethlehem, and Mary's again saying, Joseph, it's time. And the frantic sets in, and he runs up to a door, and he knocks on the door. And he says, my wife, she's about to have a baby. We've got to have a room. Is there a room? Knocking on the door. A man opens up, and he says, we need a room. And the man says, shakes his hand and says, sorry, no room. And at that moment, when Pastor Bob read that again, it just leapt at me. I was stunned. Think about it. This man was saying, there's no room for God. There's no room for God. Now, he didn't know that what was happening was that indeed. But think of the concept of this man saying in a very real way, there's no room ultimately for God. We know Jesus, his name is Emmanuel, another name we use for him, and Emmanuel means God with us. And without him even knowing it, he was saying there's no room for God. The creator of everything on heaven and earth, the one who gave us life, the reason we have any kind of breath or purpose or existence in life, he is our everything. In this man saying, I don't have any room for him. It's incredible. It just was stirring me. Oh my word. Oh my word. No room for God. Think about that. He left. They knocked on another door. The same response. Another door. Same response until finally said, there's a place out there in the barn. We'll put God out there. It's overwhelming when you stop to think about that. There's no room for him here. We can put him out there, if any place. For several weeks now, I've been pondering that and thinking about how that applies even to my own life. Wondering how it applies to all of our lives. How often do I say, there's no room. Right now, there's no room. I'm too busy in my life. I don't have room for God. I don't have the energy. There's no room for God. I don't have any interest. My interest is in too many other things. I'm not interested in Jesus, in Emmanuel, in God. There's no room for him in my life. Or how often do we say, there's no room for him in our marriage? There's got too much else going on. Too many other things we're interested in. Too many other things we have to make happen. And we don't have any room. There's another verse that also came to mind.
What's that?
The verse I just spoke of is probably found in the Gospel of Luke. That's the chapter with the longest story of Joseph and Mary the Christmas story. But there's another book of the Bible at the very end of the Bible, the book of Revelation. And there's a verse that says in Revelation chapter 3, verse 20, he says, hey, whoa, he says, the word, the translation is behold, but it's probably more like, hey, and he's saying, I'm here, and it says, behold, I'm standing at the door, I'm knocking again, because this is the most other stunning thing. The stunning thing in the Luke story is Joseph saying, we have this God here, and the guy in the inn says, no room. Now, God himself is knocking on our door. Your door, my door, your door. And he's saying, I'm out here. I want in. Think about that again. The God of the universe, the creator of all things, is saying to us, I want in.
But he's a gentleman. He's not forcing his way.
Not forcing his way in. But he's knocking. And he wants in. He wants in. And then it says, he wants in. And for everybody that opens the door to God, to Jesus, he says, I'm going to come in. And he says, we're going to have a dinner together, giving the idea that we're going to hang out around the table. We're going to have a wonderful time, and a friendship and a relationship gets established with us and God. He wants in. That's the most amazing part this year of the Christmas story. Every one of us has the opportunity to keep the door closed or to open up and say, no room. In my life, in my time, in my interest, in my energy, there's no room. Or I can say, yes, please. I can't believe, I'm stunned that you're even knocking on my door. I'm overwhelmed by the idea that you're even knocking. The God of the universe is knocking at our door. He wants in. And I can open the door and I say, oh, please, please do come in. Come in. Come in. It's overwhelming. The idea is overwhelming. God wants in. And I just want to say to you, during this Christmas season, and say to us, let's make room for God. Let's make room for Jesus. As we celebrate all the fun and the beautiful, over here we have a Christmas tree and lights and the beauty and the warmth of a fire and everything else, and being with family and friends, as we celebrate, let's make room for God. Let's make room for Jesus. Let's make time. Let's give it interest. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to watch the Chosen series some more. And if you haven't watched the Chosen series, it's an amazing thing. It's an app you download on your phone. Just go to your app store and get the Chosen and watch. They have a Christmas story there of Jesus and Joseph and Mary going to Bethlehem. It's a beautiful story. But he's knocking at your door now, right now. Even as you're hearing this, I believe there's some of you saying, I don't know that I've ever made time for him. And I want to ask you and encourage you, if you've never done that, go find a Bible somewhere and open up to 2/3 the way through where you find 4 books called Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And open up to, I think it's Matthew or Luke Gospel, and read the story of Jesus coming to earth and read about his life. And let me tell you, it's real. And he's knocking at your door today and every day and throughout the day. And we have a chance to open the door and experience relationship and have dinner and friendship.
And you'll never be sorry.
And you'll never be sorry. It's been the most important decision you and I have ever made. It made the biggest difference in our lives. And we invite you to open that door too. We wish you the most wonderful Christmas ever.
Christ-filled.
Absolutely. Open the door and let him in. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.